Hello, friends, and welcome back to Seshcast. My name is Goldilocks. This is Seshcast, a cannabis podcast for cannabis sessions. If this is your first time, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. If you're coming back, thanks for coming back. Appreciate it as always. Today I am smoking on accidentally some of this zombie kush that I still have. So I still have the two strains that I've smoked in the last two episodes. I have some zombie kush, and I have some of that pineapple passion or pineapple kush or whatever it is. And I 110% planned on smoking the pineapple kush for this particular episode. Because it's a really good sativa. It gets me really talkative. I was smoking on some of it last night, and it had me kind of talking and really moving, and I was really digging it. But I went to grind some of that up and realized my grinder was still super loaded with zombie kush, and I did not feel the need to empty an entire grinder somewhere so I could specifically grind up the pineapple passion to smoke. It just didn't make sense to me. So I'm smoking this like super heavy indica at 2:30 in the afternoon, and I have stuff to do today. So I gotta give a quote. It's funny. I just started listening to this guy's podcast. I found him on Reddit actually, and we've sort of connected through Instagram. He's got a pretty cool cannabis podcast as well called Baked and Awake, or Baked and Awake. There's no D on the end of awake. But I've been listening to it a lot. But he always says, and I think he's got a hashtag like "Smoke Indica Do ish" anyway. And that's valid, man. I gotta pull that today because I struggled to hit record on the mic, man. Like I'm already quite stoned from the first bowl of this I smoked. So I am smoking some of the zombie kush out of what is definitely just a cheap piece of china glass. But it is a cheap piece of china glass that is sandblasted and like this matte green and white swirl, and it's just very, very pretty. You can check the picture out; it'll be on my Instagram. That's just Seshcast, one word. You can find me there. But I'll have a picture of this up there. But it's this cheap piece of china glass. It's super pretty, and my little brother bought it for me. So I really love this piece. And I wanted to use it just because I've been thinking about my little brother. I haven't talked to him in a little while. We live in different parts of the state. I live a couple hours from where he is, and we don't get a lot of chance to connect. So, but I was thinking about him lately, and we were catching up, and so I figured I'd break his bowl out for this one. So the picture will be on my Instagram. I'm smoking zombie kush out of it. I'm already super heavy and super into this couch right now, and I definitely am already super cottonmouth, which is gonna make this episode a riot. But I'm gonna smoke this, and then we'll get into the episode. So cheers, friends. Oh boy. Never is it a good sign when you have to break the water bottle out on the very first hit. It was a huge hit. It hit me right in the back of the throat. I totally caught a scoob on the tongue. And I was cottonmouth going into it. So that was just 50 shades of wrong right there. But pulling it back together, we are A-okay. So, today's episode. If this is your first time, thanks for coming in again. This is just Seshcast. I sit here, I get stoned after I'm already stoned, and I talk about a thing for a while, and you listen, and hopefully also get stoned or do whatever it is that you do when you listen to these things. So today's topic is something that I wanted to do because I wanted to make an episode that was a little bit more accessible. For one, um, because like my first episode was all like it was all about the podcast. So if if you weren't into the idea of the podcast, or didn't really want to know the meta, like you didn't care about the backstory and the lore of the game, you just wanted to play the game, you probably weren't going to be into the first episode. And then the second episode was about the cannabis community, and so if you're stumbling upon this and don't care about all the hippies smoking weed, you just wanted something to listen to. I don't know why you would listen to this if you weren't really into the cannabis community. I guess that's you know what? Never mind. Whatever. I'm gonna keep going. But I wanted to do something that was very very open and very accessible. And that being said, it's also one of my favorite things. Actually, it is my favorite thing. So today's topic is music. I just wanted to sit and ramble and talk about music for a little while. For a lot of reasons, man. Just so like I was saying, music is my favorite thing in the whole world. There is nothing that I like more than music. Playing music, making music, listening to music, writing music, like learning about other people writing. Like, I adore music more than anything. And that's a huge chunk of what's led me into the career path that I'm in, being a radio DJ, which is also what's led me into being a podcaster. But that's whatever. I wanted to be a radio DJ because I wanted to be part of the music experience. And I say the music experience because, like, not necessarily the music industry. Music industry is kind of a jargony word to me, just because I'm technically in the music industry, but I mean something much broader than the music industry. That was that is how stoned I already am. This one's gonna be a ride. Strap in. So I always just wanted to be part of other people listening and hearing music, because something that makes me very happy is making other people happy. That's just like something that is very pleasing to me, and like helps my mental health and my level of happiness, and I can make other people happy. It's just something that I like. And since music makes me so happy, I wanted to have a way to give that happiness to other people, I think, is what I'm trying to get to. So I like wanted to be part of that, and wasn't really sure where in the music experience I fit in until I discovered how much I loved radio. I'm not going to go down a whole radio path here. Radio will be a whole nother podcast at some point, I'm sure. But like, long story short, I found radio, thought it was really cool the way that radio distributed music to people. I mean, how often do you like hear a new song for the first time on the radio? I think, or you hear a song on the radio that you haven't heard before. I'm gonna be drinking a little bit more water this episode than I have in the other episodes. So excuse me for a hot second. And I probably won't pipe in music over all of those unless I listen back to this and like the sound of me swallowing is really gross or something. Like, then I might do music. But I'm super dehydrated. I haven't had as much water at this point in the day as I typically have, because I slept in like hella late, and I am getting super cotton mouthed from this weed. But so I'm super dehydrated. I'm super cotton mouthed. B, and that is making it super possible. Oh, and I'm pretty high. And that is all just making me very aware of the sound of me talking, and I can hear it in my headphones, and so I assume that you would be able to hear it back in the podcast, which I don't think would be something that people would be into. And if that is something that people would be into, I think it would be an interesting little corner. Not that there's anything wrong if you're into, people, the sound of people's dry tongues hitting the tops and bottoms of their mouths, then whatever. But like it's kind of gross, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna be drinking more water. Back to music. I got into radio because I thought it was cool the way it distributed music to people, and I wanted to be part of giving people happiness through music. So, I'm gonna keep going on music, but I don't know where I'm gonna go, so I'm gonna take a hit of this because I don't forget what I was saying. Cheers. Sometimes I think it's just coughing that makes me forget about what I was talking about. Maybe not the weed. Maybe it's just the coughing, coughing. Not the Pokemon, like the CAUGHING, coughing. I don't really drink coffee. Anyway. Oh boy, gosh. So music. I love music. It is a key core piece of my life. I have always loved listening to music because it is, I think, sort of supplemented my emotions in a weird way. So I have some depression issues in my life, and that has sort of like left me open to times where like I have struggled to process through emotions, and music has like supplemented the way that I like go through emotions through a lot of my life, which I think is something that in a lot of, or like I think is something that happens for a lot of people. I think that that's really a more normal thing than it sounds like sometimes to me, but I'm sure to a lot of people, like I'm sure that a lot of people would say like there are times where like hearing a certain song makes you feel a certain way, and like you really love a certain song because of the way it makes you feel or something like that. I think that that's really normal for people. That's the cool thing about music. It is so like so unbelievably universal. Um, there is no one who I think that there is no one who can't find a type of music that fits for them or that they enjoy. I truly 100% believe that there is a style of music out there for everyone. Period. And I think that that is the most amazing thing about music. Um, it is just so accessible to anybody because you can call anything music, and people will call anything music. Man, you hear the weirdest things. If you take some like take a like if your local library or something is ever offering like a community class about like music history. I don't know if they would. I don't know why if people do. I don't know. But like if you could ever find yourself a little bit of like world music history, just sort of like to take a minute to learn about how we got from where we started to where we are. It is so interesting. Like the discovery of rhythm and music and then just like where that's led us to. And so then we look at things that we have today, that people call music, and you see it and you look at it and you listen to it and you're like, that's not that's that's not where we are now. Like that can't be music. And like people get really passionate about like trashing other types of music sometimes by trying to say that they aren't music. And I think that the point that people miss a lot of the times is that like if if you're calling it music, if you're selling it as music, like if you're putting some cognitive thought into it being music, it's music. Like, um, and maybe you are the only person in the whole wide world who enjoys the type of music, whatever that weird type of music is. But I think that that is, um, at least statistically unlikely, if not statistically impossible. Like, I think that music. There's no way. There's no way that music can't connect at least two people in the world, um, together in some way. It's just so, I don't. It's so incredibly connective and translatable might be a good word, um, because so much of music is feeling, and the feeling that music gives you, um, and just enjoying that. And so I don't think that that's just a me thing, but I think that I would say that that is one of my favorite feelings. That's like, that is why I like music. I think everybody sort of gets that from music. That's just the thing about life that I get the most, and I really enjoy it. So, I've loved music my whole life, um, all kinds of music, and I have just had so many amazing moments that I connect so strongly with music, and so many moments in my life that the way I like coped with them, or the way that I like enjoyed them, or the way that I went through those things was through music. Songs that you remember hearing for the first time in one place or the other place, like, uh, uh, Foster the People, Pumped Up Kicks, Ocean City, Maryland. That is a connection that exists specifically in my brain. Like, the first time that I ever heard, uh, Foster the People's, Pumped Up Kicks, I think that there's no other part of that title. Um, the first time I heard that song was on MTV, waking up in the morning, um, at, the condo with my buddy's family, Ocean City, Maryland, in, oh boy, what year was that? Oh my gosh, 2011, I think. 2010 or 2011. I'm really not sure. Um, but whenever I was in Ocean City, Maryland, waking up and turning on MTV, getting ready in the morning, and like I heard Foster the People, Pumped Up Kicks for the first time, and I like didn't hear the whole song. I like only heard part of it, but I was like, yeah, 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 I dig that. Like, that's cool. I want to listen to that later. And then I don't know if I heard that song again for like months. I think that it just picked up in, uh that like that area, and I wasn't watching a lot of MTV at that point, but like I think it picked up more, down in or like down around the beach than it did up where I was. So it took me a little while to really hear that song again. But once I did, I was like, yeah, this is cool. But I automatically thought of, Ocean City, and every time I've heard that song since, that's like one of the first places my mind just kind of jumps to. Um, yeah, yeah, man, it's a good song, good song. Yeah, cool memories. Music is cool. Cheers. And so speaking of music, there goes some music as it kind of fades out. I think that's weird. I'm talking to myself post this, which is what I'm going to talk about right now. I'm like stuck in this weird little time paradox loop of like I keep noticing things about what I'm doing that are predictive of the soon to be instant future. Um, and I'm sorry, I don't know if that made sense. That was a that the cannabis took over there. The weed took the wheel, and it ran away from me there for a hot minute. And I'm not sure where I went, but I'm back now. So that music that I play when I take hits, and at the beginning and at the end, um, those beats, that's me. I do that. And I actually just use an app on my phone, just a little loop maker that I found. And like, I'm adjusting my headphones, so if you hear some weird like shuffling or clicking, that was my lighter hitting my headphones. Um, but I do that music, and I do it right at the end of each episode, just on this little like loop app that I have, and it is so much fun. It's like one of my favorite parts about doing the episode. Honestly, like I sit down afterwards, and I just like play on the loop app for a little while, and I make all the music and then cut it together. So it's actually one song. If you were ever really digging it, you could literally just cut out my voice and then slide all of the clips together, and it would be one little loop song that I do for each episode. But it's just like it's super fun, and I love it. And I don't. I think it sounds pretty cool and kind of catchy, and I like that. And I hope that people like it. And that's something that is super fun about making music is you make music and you hope people like it. But at the end of the day, man, if you like the music that you make, that's all that matters, and that's really cool. Um, some of my friends growing up, some of the people I know now, like they can't sing. They should never ever sing. Well, at least that's what people would tell them. Like their voices are just not good, or they're totally tone deaf. But like, you know what? Screw it. Don't even like listen to me there. If you love singing, you just do it. Like sing, whatever, enjoy it. Make that music. If the music you're making makes you happy, then that's all that matters. Like that's cool. Make yourself happy, and if that music makes you happy and makes somebody else happy for whatever reason it may or does, then that's the best. That's what really matters, and that's really super cool. Like it just, I love making those little loop tracks and just throwing them in there because I don't have a lot of opportunities to make music anymore. I I give people music. I distribute music through radio, and I love that part of my job and that love that part of my life. But I don't get to make music the way I used to. I was in bands growing up when I was a little younger, and like marching band for like years of my life, and all sorts of things like that. And I played a lot of music, and I just don't have time or opportunity to play music anymore. And it sucks. It's so sad. And it's a huge chunk of my life that I miss. So when I get to do those little loop tracks for the episodes, I really enjoy it. And it's super fun. Just to sit down and like, and you know what? I wish in a way that making music was easier. Um, but that's a weird. I'm gonna go into that more in a second. I'm gonna take another hit of this and get another drink because I can hear myself talking. So I'm gonna take another rip, and then I'm gonna come back and talk about easier music. Cheers. Whew. So I wish in a way that making music was easier. And I want to go into what I mean by that because there's something to be said. So there's so much to be said. There's not just something. There's infinite amounts to be said for people who dedicate their lives to making music and who practice and rehearse and study. Like, it's amazing. It's um there's just that's such a lifestyle and so difficult. And like, if you don't professionally play music, and I being in the radio industry, like, but not only that, just from like, I was so I started college as a music major. I did not finish college as a music major, but I started college as a music major. um, I I've met a lot of people. I know a lot of people who do music professionally for a living, and that's I have so much respect for you, because that is so difficult. So when I say that I want to make, or that I don't want to make, when I say that I wish music was easier to make, I don't at all mean to discredit people who spend their lives getting better at music and practicing and playing music, because like, that is a league of its own. And I don't think that anybody should just be able to attain that sort of respect. And like, I don't know, like, it's just being able to make amazing music and like make high, like, that's just so, it's so cool. And like, I don't want to undersell that, is what I'm trying to say. But my other side of that is like, these loop tracks that I make for this, I'm not gonna try and sell it to you that this is difficult at all. Like, it syncs itself up. It's all preloaded sounds. Like, so this is this is cool because it sits in this like fun little area of like free use, like copyright free and royalty free music, because this app just has sounds. So the only thing you can't do is like release or like sell a track that is just one of the sounds. Like, as long as you alter that in some way, if you layer two things together, if you like change anything, doing something, like, then it's yours. So that's cool. Like, this app is so easy. And I don't want to give the name of the app because I am in no way sponsored by them. I just found a really good app and it's super cool. But you know what? It's the one that works for me. Like, I found a lot of good apps. I really did. Before I found the one that did what I was looking for this show. Um, so I did. I searched through so many apps. And I found some that were great for somebody else, but not for me. They just weren't like what I needed and what I was looking for. So this one I have is great, and I love it, and it's awesome. But I'm not sponsored by them, and I pay for them, and it's no ad, so I don't want to. I don't want to just, go and buy them, my people. Just because I have no reason to. Anyway, it's super easy, is what I'm trying to get at, and you literally can't mess it up, and you can't be bad at it. So that's really cool for me to be able to have something that I can just sit down here and like, I'm two bowls high and just can sit down and blast out some music for a little while. That's super cool. And I wish that opportunity for everyone. Like, I wish everyone could take a little while to just like create music in the easiest way possible, or have access to an easy way to make music, whether it's pots and pans and wooden spoons, which I think is how I got my start playing music, to complicated apps that just make you push buttons, or just let you push buttons, which is literally exactly what I do for all of those things. I wish that opportunity on everyone, because it's so cool to have that opportunity. And I want everybody to be able to take the feelings inside of them and translate those out through music, because it is such a cool and therapeutic process, and like a cool outlet for people, and for yourself and for me and for anybody, I think. You know what? Cheers to that. Gosh. So I want to go back a ways and talk very briefly about being a music major in college, because that was a very very brief run in college for me. Like 1 semester brief. Did not last long. It does not matter to me. But I I did it for a while, and it wasn't what I wanted it to be. And long story short, it was killing my love for music, and that sucked. Like that was the most soul crushing experience. Was that brief time in college when like I didn't want to listen to music. I didn't care what was popular. I didn't want any music at all, because I was just pushed off so much by like what the music major part of my life was doing to me, and how unenjoyable it was in the situation that I was in. And so it was super lame, and it sucked a lot because music is like my favorite thing ever. And to not want your favorite thing is a very sad feeling, that I do not wish on anyone, because it is very sad. But what was cool was when I found radio, and I started doing radio in college, and that gave me a time to sit down for X amount of hours a day or weekly or whatever. Just sit down during my radio time and just listen to music. Was like it was the only thing that like kind of kept me going that semester. So music still was there, and was what was getting me. Music is what got me through not wanting to listen to music. I swear. It's really true. I don't think I can describe that in any other way. Um, I I think that I need to take another hit of this, because I just looked out and I feel like I still have a lot left, and I'm trying to finish this in this episode about the same time. Oh boy, cheers. Okay, all right. I think I'm still good. I think I'm still here. Um, I'm slowly descending below this astral plane. Like, some weed gets you high. This zombie kush gets me low. Um, like, I think, you sort of, you exist, on your sober plane. You're on your sober existence, right? And like, sometimes you get high. In my brain, it's kind of sativas. This is sort of how I explain the difference between sativas and indicas to people. So like, you are on your sober plane of existence, right? You you are going, and all of a sudden, you consume some cannabis. You smoke some weed. You do some dabs. You eat some cookies. You you do a marijuana. So you're here. If it was a sativa, chances are you're getting high. You're gonna go above the plane that you exist on. You're gonna be like, whoa, like everything is crazy. Like Not like everything is crazy. You're not seeing things. I'm not talking acid. I don't do. No, I just smoke the weed. But like, not this. Nothing. If you do acid, you do acid. I don't care. It's not for me. I smoke the weed. But if you smoke sativa, you're gonna go up, and your brain's gonna be like thinking about a lot of stuff, processing things. Um, I personally think sativas are great strains to listen to music. Like if you have the opportunity to just sit down and listen to music, whether you're listening through an album, whether you're just gonna lay down and put headphones on, whatever. If you have a chance to just sit down and listen to music, smoke yourself, consume yourself crazy sativa. Trust me, it's great. Your brain will just dive into music. At least this is how it goes for me. Like I gotta warn you. Sometimes crazy sativas, and really crazy music will drive people to crazy anxiety. Some people with anxiety issues just can't smoke tons and tons and tons of sativa. I have a lot of anxiety issues, and I really understand that. So like, don't take my word as law. This is not a. This is not a go forth and do. This is just this is what works for me. And I think that it will work for you if you know that you like sativas and you like that heady feeling. If you don't like sativas, nah. I'm not saying you should do it if you don't like sativas. Probably going to be just as bad a time. Anyway, smoking sativa, you're getting high. You're going to be like, just kind of, you know what? Let me give you great music to smoke sativa wise or indica wise. Let's go that way. Sativa music. Things that are very like complex or not necessarily upbeat, but like sativas are great concert weed. I think Red Hot Chili Peppers would be an awesome band that I've smoked a lot of sativa and seen a couple times, and it has been a blast both times. They just they're kind of loud, they're kind of fun. There's a lot of layers to the music. If there are a lot of layers to the music that you can listen through and digest, those are the great sativa musics. So like I love Chili Peppers for that. Sometimes uh sometimes I dig like some kind of weird techno, like a chiptune kind of stuff, and like that's kind of fun sativa-y stuff. But I'm talking like full on music. If if you're into country music, I think smoking some sativa and listening to country is really kind of fun, sitting out on the porch. But that's just because I kind of have a country streak in me. But um, hard rock, I love. That's always been super fun. Yeah, those are that's kind of where I'm at sativa wise. I think Soundgarden I really enjoy. Trying to think if there's anybody else that I've seen who is a great sativa band. Anything that you're thinking is going to be kind of like fun and upbeat, or Matt and Kim would be great. They're coming around here. Um, Close, that not on, but like close to 420. I thought that was funny. I'm not gonna go, but I have something else to do that day. But I thought it was kind of funny. Um, so they'd be good. There's this little band Brick and Mortar who I really love. They're super great with a good sativa. So those kind of bands. So smoking a sativa, you're getting high. Smoking indica, you're getting low. You're going to go below the sober plane that you exist on, which is kind of where I am at right now. I'm like below my astral plane. You are going to sink back into the couch. It's like you are going to be looking up at yourself. Um, the melted girl on the couch from the old "Don't Smoke Weed" commercials. That's Indica Girl. It was probably that's the way I feel when I smoke Death Star. Like just poof, done. Yeah. So that's I love Pink Floyd for an indica. Something that you can just lay back and listen to. Slower, uh, deeper stuff. There's another small band called Sky Hill that I really love smoking an indica. Um, let's see. Temple of the Dog is one of my favorites right now. I've been listening to them a lot. They're great. Led Zeppelin can kind of go either way. I'm trying to think of other. Oh, so I listened to Rusted Roots' first album for the whole way through for the first time last night. That came out the year after I was born. So like, I sorry I missed it the first time around, I guess. But like, um, yeah, that one was really cool. With an indica, I really enjoyed that. So Rusted Root, I guess. But I'm about running out of time. Like I said, I could talk about music forever. Maybe there will be a music too at some point. Um, I don't think that would be out of the realm, but I'm gonna cheers on out of here. Um, I'll be right back. Cheers. I do want to say real quick, someone who is very influential in my life, in my music life, passed away recently. Her name was Bev Antis. She was a music teacher that I had, and she is someone who taught me how to love the way that I make music and taught me to make music in a way that was best for me, and was just very influential to my music life. She passed away recently after a short battle with pancreatic cancer, and so I thought that the best way for me to honor her would just be to sort of, I don't know, put something out with some music in it, to her, and for her. So I kind of came up with this episode for her, and I want to dedicate the music for her, for this episode. So thank you, Bev, for everything, and I hope you rest as easily and as peacefully as you deserve. Cheers. My name is Goldilocks. This has been Seshcast. Thank you so much for listening.